Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard, increase security, and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
A smoke-free environment is the only way to fully protect from the dangers of secondhand smoke. That's why smoke-free policies are so important to me. Whether it's in my car, apartment building, or when I'm dining outdoors, there's no place for secondhand smoke or e-cigarette aerosol. Breathe easier knowing the facts. Visit smokefree.ne.gov. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
Cinco de Mayo is May 5th, but the party starts early this year at Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina with their street festival on Saturday, May 3rd. Come down to 8th and Q starting at 1 p.m. on May 3rd and see llamas from Sweet and Sassy's Llama Farm until 4 p.m. and enjoy face painting and balloon animals with Miss Shades at 2 p.m. DJ Wyatt will entertain from 6 to 10:30 p.m. There will be drinks, food, and giveaways, and best of all, no cover charge. It's the early Cinco de Mayo Street Festival with Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina, Saturday, May 3rd, beginning at 1 p.m. at 8th and Q in the Haymarket.
Early break wrap.
What do you have?
Oh yeah, good one.
Someone orders a wrap. I want to go come across the table.
Oh, wrap.
What do you guys have? What's your best wrap?
No.
What's your
so
incredible?
incredible.
Was that buffalo chicken? That's incredible. Yeah. When you say I want to get, I'm going to stop where they have great wraps. I want to throw a punch.
Here's one too that I encountered
with Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, and Bill Bush from 6 to 9 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is On the Block with Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet Eric Strickland, Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman, middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America, on air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Welcome to it. It is On the Block, another week of it. I am Austin Orman, show brought to you by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Let's flip the camera over to the two Husker Hall of Famers. Directly to my left, Jay Foreman. To his left, Eric Strickland. How we doing, fellas? What's up?
Talk to you today.
What'd I do?
I'm about to go home.
This is great.
I'm just playing.
Messed up his beard.
Huh? Nick Sainer did what?
He can't even cut his beard.
So he had to cut it off?
Mm-hmm. You ain't see him?
Oh, too bad for him.
Look like he on the run from the police.
I had some people I could have sent them to, got him hooked up. You know what I mean? Keep him tight, good and crispy. So everybody's not the babyface assassin like
Steph Curry,
like you.
That's Nick though. He looked like he's the first day of school.
Austin can't grow facial hair.
Not yet. He ain't old enough yet.
Yeah, it's trying.
I just shaved.
You get a little shadow.
I shaved yesterday morning.
Let's just be honest.
Yes.
No way.
Yes.
You like a lumberjack then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Babyface Assassin dropped 31 in K-State's shoes. You see that?
Hey, listen, my boy. Houston, we may have a problem.
And we'll get to that in hour two.
Mm.
But let's just start with the K-State Tominaga angle. He's a Curry brand athlete. Steph's repping the K-State shoes, and he goes for 31. Like,
that's pretty cool that he would even do that.
You know?
Hey, he knows how to build a brand.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing. You got people talking about it. He knows people in Nebraska buy him.
And people over across seas about it too.
If you have a pair of the Keisei Tominaga shoes, let us know on the text line 402-464-5685.
They ain't big baller brand shoes are falling apart.
Well, even Nikes fall apart if you're Zion Williamson. So
that's because you're overweight.
Yeah, there's that.
But yeah, I mean, man, that was a lesson taught last night.
Listen, I know we're gonna get to it, but just in an overview, it was kind of March Madness-y for me, where it was too many blowouts. It didn't even seem like.
So this year's March Madness, not actual. Madness,
like this year's, like it just everything was just the way it was, I mean, obviously, the championship pedigrees took their place as well, and look, your boys is another thing. We're gonna get into it though, but
I knew it was coming.
I'm just saying.
I knew this dude was up there.
No,
man.
I'm saying
like,
that's a good thing. Your boys. So you're not room for Ant-Man?
I'm going for.
Well, you in an oxymoron?
Oh my God!
Which one? I'm just saying.
Listen, I knew this dude right here went outside. It was yodeling when LeBron and the Lakers got thrown.
Not at all.
You was
going down
the
But let me just tell you, my guy who I said.
Who?
Nas Reed.
Nasty Nas.
Yeah. Nasty Nas is one of the reasons why they did what they had to be able to play Nas. I ain't gonna go deep, but I'm gonna elaborate as I go. They had to be able to play Nas and the left-handed bandit, Julius Randle.
And they both
they had to do it. That's really the only chance they got. And there was a lot of hunting going. But let's go. What we talking about today, Austin? Because you made me mad with your baby face assassin self.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know you made me mad. I'm still upset about what you did last week.
I didn't do nothing last week.
What'd he do last week, dog?
Not a thing.
Jay.
He got me the next day when he was gone.
The refereeing.
Oh, the last second.
You see what he did to me?
Count it.
Ball was right here. Clear. He went to the instant replay thing.
He did.
Replayed it multiple times.
Multiple texters said ball was halfway to the hoop.
Oh my gosh. Believe their lying eyes. Let's go.
Cam Jurgens, contract extension, 4 years, $68 million. Not bad for the guy taking over for the guy in Philly there, Jay.
Yeah, break bread. I mean, time is everything, and Cam's earned it, and he's played. I mean, he's had a chance. I mean, the great thing about it, I think, with him is that he came in, got to learn, but then he played guard, and then he really got on the job. Like, I think from my perspective, I think it accelerated his growth as a center when he took over. So it became easier. I mean, because he had to work right with Kelsey his last year, and then I think it just took him to a whole nother level. And plus, they won a Super Bowl, and he was able to be a stalwart in there, and you want to keep your center and your quarterback, intact, and he rightfully so. He made the Pro Bowl. He's one of the top 3-4 centers probably in the league, give or take. And that's not even. I could not even bat an eye in saying he's not the bottom of that number, and so rightfully so, man. Good on him, man. I mean, Cam's a good dude, local kid. As much as people bang up Scott Frost and them about everything that they didn't do, now whether it was luck or by chance or because I think Cam came in and might have hurt his foot or something. And plus he had a big frame anyways. And they decided to move him to center, stuck with him, and then he took it and ran with it. I mean, being one of the top in the game right now, he's still very young in playing the position of center. Like in his shelf life, in his center life. I mean, he played 3 years here, and then he's been in league 3 or 4 years. I mean, that's not a lot, as far as, and then now, granted, he's a phenomenal athlete, very explosive, quick, fast, and all that stuff. But to embrace it and then obviously excel at it, it's well worth it.
All I got to say is Junior Mafia. Get money. Get money. get money, Cam Jurgens. That's a shout out to you for getting that paperwork.
39.4 guaranteed.
Right.
At signing.
Yeah.
17 mil a year, second highest in the NFL behind only Creed Humphrey.
And Jay wish his mom and dad would have just waited about 10 years. He'd been straight right now. But let's
all of us.
That part. Like, Jay, let me ask this question. Do stories like that, Nebraska needs a means by which to really tell stories like that, especially on the linemen, the interior linemen. They can't go real quick. They can't go back and talk as good about. They need to find another story because you can't go back and talk about Domlican, right? It's a little too far gone. He's now past. You know, he's still a Stapleton.
Bit, but
you know what I'm saying? But you can with Cam because you can tell how you led it, how you talked about it, how it performed. Now, obviously, like you said, it was Frost, but it finished here. So there's some things that you got to try to get a sellable. Now, the new fella coming in that came from Notre Dame, hopefully that can be a continuation of things. They need more of those stories.
I think more importantly that
they don't have them on the wide receivers.
Cam's around, and you just want those guys that they can see to aspire to.
Right. That's what I'm talking about.
That's the biggest selling point for guys that are on the team. You're seeing somebody that they had either, heard of. Well, first of all, they watched him. I'd like to think they watched him in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And if they didn't, at least they're on one of their YouTube clips that they watch. And so they know who he is. He's around. When he can be, he's around in a great representation of Nebraska, both on and off the field. And then also what can be if you actually put in some work and take advantage of the opportunity. I mean, it wasn't easy for him to go and go from tight end, highly rated tight end, to center. That's not an easy job to do. And then he takes it and he runs with it. And there were some growing pains, but also it's a testament to him to stick to it, get better at it. And now all the things that he went through in the short times of a couple snaps or whatever, the snapping troubles he had, nobody worries about it right now. And so, it all pays off for him. And you need that. I mean, when we were working out and guys would come back from the NFL and intermingle with us, that was just as aspiring as, heck, when we were winning national titles too. So you got to think we were, guys that we were in the locker room were playing at the next level. So you knew, you were somewhat close, but yet so far as making that goal. But then they were kind of giving you like tips. They were working out with us in the summer when we were out there in the heat, and that's how we knew we were, a big old family. And, guys like Neil Smith would come back every once in a while, and he is,
drop some nuggets.
Tell you how to make it, and had some older guys that come around every once in a while. I mean, I always talk about when I first got down to Houston, I'm in my fifth year, or going in my fifth year, kind of like, contract year or whatever. I'm down there and I'm not really even feeling it in Houston. I'm gonna leave in a winner in Buffalo. That's all I know is winning. One in high school, one in college, one in my first 3-4 years in the pros. You know what it's like when it's an expansion team.
Mm-hmm.
You just down there and they're, so I knew they had some good players there because I knew Aaron Glenn and all those guys. But then the first guy that came and picked me up was Broderick Thomas. Took me around Houston.
Sandman.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now I was late. I was gone all day. A little lunch trip turned into 1-2 o'clock in the morning, but it was cool though. He showed me around and welcomed me to the city, and so that's just part of the Nebraska brotherhood that was, and hopefully they're trying to get that back.
That's a fact. So what I was talking about earlier, it was a lead in to something else for me, right? I just sent you a message on something that I just seen, so you're welcome to take a look at it to get an understanding, because it talked about the most NFL running backs that have been drafted all time by school, right? And what's interesting about that is Nebraska is 3 off from the top, and we ain't really been doing it like that. I mean, because you go back in the day, and Nebraska used to be called a running back U. Mm-hmm. And think about where Nebraska sits in their ranking at 4 right now. And we ain't really even been doing it like that as of late. But that's a story we can't really tell no more because we're not getting it. And I think this has to happen at the quarterback position. So I think we need to root for Raiola's success.
Yeah.
Because you want to reestablish something that we really never had for the most part is at the wide receiver position. So we need a breakout.
Yeah.
What's my guy, man, that ended up going to
Trey Palmer
to Denver? No, I that's a great story. You're right. I think hopefully that'll continue to elevate. But I'm talking about a story like this one. Played for Denver Broncos, but at Georgia Tech.
Demaryius Thomas.
Yeah. We need like a story like that. Somebody that like was kind of overlooked.
Yeah, because he came from the triple option offense.
Right.
So, yeah,
and then just
take off.
Cool.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
we need that, and because we don't have this story that we can tell.
Don't have it. We haven't had that. We haven't had the linemen now a little bit because it changed.
We've had it on the defense.
Yeah.
Cornerbacks, some safeties, a little bit on the
Most
defense.
of it, but it really comes down to you're going to get more guys drafted when you win, and people don't.
That's good.
People don't want to hear it. It's factual. NFL wants winners. Nobody likes losers.
Yeah.
And this is not. I mean, and there's some factors where you can't win. Look, when I was in Houston, I was on a losing team. But losers to me is like not just the score is one thing, but it's how you act, how you carry yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like a loser's mentality.
Yeah.
You can be a very good player. Like I don't consider Ray Allen when he was with the Bucks a loser. You know what I mean? Or like somebody that was a good
stats, bad team guy.
Yeah, but he was a good player and he played for the Sacramento
for
Kings.
A minute, like you could say like Chris Bosh.
Yeah,
when he was in Toronto.
Right, You play for Toronto. Your success in college actually is your detriment when you get drafted. But you're a champion because he was able to go to Miami and be a champion. And every year they had all-star games, he was there. So he had championship qualities. And I guess I'll say is that NFL teams or just professional teams, that are picking, they don't like losing mentality. They don't like it. First of all, they won't. You'll see these guys, and there's always catchwords that they say is mentality. That lets you know they're questioning whether you have winning or losing mentality. And now it comes back to Nebraska. It's like we haven't won a lot. How we lost probably has affected some of the players. I mean, it was look, the NFL wants an easy job to pick guys. I remember a GM telling me when I was going through the draft process, they were talking about they held, Trev Albert's going so high, and they were questioning whether Grant Wisham and those guys were good enough. Listen, they do not want to work at it. They seriously don't. Only time they want to work at it is when they're probably driving from Scottsbluff to Omaha to catch a flight, and they stop at Shattern State and or whatever, and they see somebody like
Danny Woodhead.
Yeah, Danny Woodhead, or they didn't even draft him, or somebody that Jay Novacek or something. Like, we'll draft him, and that's who they can hang their hat on because that's who they can get paid, or get a bigger job. They do not want to work at it when they come to big schools. I remember talking to Charles Davis actually when I was in Minneapolis, ran into him up at Manny's, and he's always a really good dude. Big old corner. I didn't know he was a corner. I thought he was a linebacker. He was a corner. He's a big dude. He does a lot of TV and stuff. And he's like, man, he was talking to me about, that previous year at the combine. Like, where's Nebraska's lineman? He was talking about their numbers when they were going there, like the way that they were testing out, and how Nebraska was always known for guys that were bigger, faster, and stronger, and you missed that. And then they correlate that to your wins and losses. So it correlates to the running back room too. Now Nebraska, I think, went through when you had Amir, you had Burkhead, you had Roy Halou, you had those guys.
Those guys were drafted in 11, 13, and 15. Nebraska hasn't had a running back drafted since those guys.
Right. And so you had a good run, right? Then you had a good run of DBs with Bo, and it was all predicated because they were winning and they were kind of running, NFL type of scheme. So it worked out well. But once you start losing, and then you're not developing guys, and then you have guys that are coming in that don't want to be developed or take the initiative to developing themselves.
Well, you gotta do that young man like that.
You talk about like Amir Abdullah
back in the transfer portal.
He made himself into what he was. He was a throw-in.
Right.
Right. 3 stars. Some teams wanted him as a corner.
Was a throw-in. They were trying to so then he made himself in it. So development is more, I think, on the player versus like you got to have a little bit of pushing towards. So I think Nebraska's little lack of guys getting drafted is a byproduct of the overall where they're at.
Austin, for you, and then I'm gonna let you. But when you look at the list, I'll tell you the list. Oklahoma's first at 47. Southern Cal is second at 46. Ohio State is third at 45. Nebraska is fourth at 44. Alabama is fifth, 42. Tied with them is Arizona State with 42. Penn State with 42. Auburn with 40. Georgia with 39. Tied with Michigan. And then the next two is with 37 is Miami and Notre Dame. Who on that list surprised you most, Austin?
Oh boy. In terms of running backs, I mean Arizona State obviously kind of stands out.
Real talk.
Even Notre Dame, I don't think of as a big running back school.
Well, they had that option old school, so it could have been a lot of early stuff.
Over time, though.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, you wish you would have it like from 2000 on.
Yeah,
that'll really tell you.
Yeah, that's all time.
Since 2000 on, Nebraska's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
So that's like one every 3 years.
One every 3.5, 4 years.
Yeah. Which generally has been the way. But you also got to think.
Kind of how you draw it up, though, right?
Well,
guy takes the reins as a freshman or sophomore. He's there, sophomore.
And that's how Bo had it, though.
Mm-hmm.
You always knew who was next in line, and then they rode those guys hard. Rode them, they could get a ton of carries. Whereas, like, when I was here, I think if Jay Sims was at Iowa State, he getting drafted. If Damon Bennings at let's see, we're Big 10, Big 8, Big 12 at Baylor, he gets drafted. If Clinton Childs is at Kansas, he gets drafted.
That's a fact. Yeah, because I mean, just think about that, Jay.
You know what I'm saying?
Nebraska had 4, maybe 5 in a possible.
Starters.
If you was playing spades,
yeah, 5 in a possible 6.
Yeah, all on the same freaking squad, and none of them got in the transfer portal. They all competed.
You couldn't, but they all end up getting shots at the league. But you're talking about getting drafted. The draft is, I'm telling you, man, the more you win. If guys would just come here and think about winning, they get everything they want. You're going to get NIL. You get all the love. You don't want empty stats, man. I was talking to somebody about a basketball player, and they're talking about how good he did. I was like, man, all them points are sitting at home where everybody's down at PBA playing. Nobody cares. They only care about that right there. Mm-hmm. They only care about winning. You talk about guys, if you look at basketball, you talk about like John Stockton, he's probably, people argue he might be the best point guard of all time. How many other guys that were quote-unquote point guards average more points than them? A lot, like Russell Westbrook, all those guys are better than it, but he was a winner. He knew how to play. Steve Nash, right? When you think of all-time point guards, you probably lean towards Stockton.
Probably Magic first.
Right. But I'm saying Stockton before Nash and the scoring guys first.
Yeah.
Right, because of the winning. Right? Yeah. And so, like if you're gonna spend a draft pick on a guy, you want to know that he's gonna be number one, he's gonna be accountable. Number 2, he can handle the pressure. And number 3, he can fit into a winning locker room. Period.
Yeah.
You can't replicate that because you're only going to see him like you meet him at the combine. You might do the 30, the 30 visit, and you might run it. You might talk to him at his pro day. That's 3 times, and then you're going to call around and try to get like little snippets. You're going to call the lunch man. How is he in the lunch line? Well, I'm hungry. I'm nice. What's cooking? Okay, yeah, we're getting steak and lobster tonight. I'm gonna be real nice.
That's the reason why a lot of people wash out right now, because of what you just said. Yeah. They don't have the mentality to stick and stay, because you come in like you literally have to shift the way you perceive things. If you're not Allen Iverson, if you're not Kobe, if you're not Jermaine O'Neal, Jermaine O'Neal had to wait.
Sure, he had to struggle.
He had to wait. If you're not
even KG had to wait. Yeah, I was there. Watch that. He was
like
you dunked on him, right?
Yeah, no.
No. If you're not any of those, you're not any of those type of guys. Like you're not coming in and just being. You're gonna have to come in and get in where you fit in
and find your way.
Steph
Curry. Steph Curry. There was possible. I wouldn't say
even Gilbert Arenas.
I wouldn't say he was out of the league, but they were like he's a defensive liability.
He was small.
Kyle
injuries,
severe ankle injuries. I mean, but if you come in as a winner, and it's the winning mentality, that's what's missing. Because winning, you could have a talented team and not win, and it has nothing to do with the talent on the team. Like Cleveland Browns, there ain't no. If you look at their roster from a couple years, there is no way they should be even thinking about being as bad as they are.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Now, then that's up top, and so a winning mentality is different. Like George Pickens at Pittsburgh, he's a loser. I hate saying it about him, but
sometimes it becomes obvious.
Well, listen, if you're not showing up on time, if you're not doing the things you need to do, I don't care how talented you are, because there's always somebody more talented.
Yeah. You're not Jerry Rice yet, so keep working, young buck.
But again, I'd ask you this before we go to break. You just mentioned Jerry Rice. You can even say Terrell Owens. You could say Randy Moss. They didn't do it. So why do you think you can do it?
Right? Go be TJ Houshmandzadeh first.
Well, and he didn't do it.
That's what I'm saying.
You ain't Chad. I mean, everybody says, "Oh, I want to be great," but you don't want to do the things that needs to be great. You don't even want to do the things that need to be good.
Right.
I mean,
that's that coddle mentality. That's that coddle mentality. I think in 402-464-5685 on the Sutter Heyman text line, I think NIL across the board has the potential of watering down unless they address it by way of the work that you put in is how you can elevate it. I think it's going to water down the sports across the board.
It's going to make it worse.
It's going to make it worse.
And I'm telling you, boy, if you had something like a savage mentality like school, you'd make tenfold, because you'd run through these dudes like you know what to a tin horn, just on pure will.
Yep.
Pure will.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be here longer. I'm just gonna keep playing.
Would you guys also like these darn kids to get off your lawn?
No. See, that's where you're wrong. I want them to get paid, but I would tell you this: they're leaving money on the table.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Because once they get done playing, now you got to deal with some real savages, though. So now you haven't built the quality.
That's the part I'm talking about of the watering down.
So now, Austin, we can go to break since you want to start my week off like that. Hey, I got your back straight. Right.
2 against 1 in here. We'll be back with more on the block.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next opportunity? Nebco is hiring. They're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. They offer competitive wages, great benefits, service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Apply today at nebco.com. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for the Nebco shop. Learn more at nebco.com. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at nebco.com.
Buckle up and hang on. This is going to be a good one.
The fans of Kansas Speedway know how to have a good time. One that celebrates fantastic finishes.
Clash together. So close.
And family-friendly facilities. Trading paint.
We've got feuding.
And tailgating tradition. Burnouts. Beer. And barbecue. Oh, it'll for sure be a good time. And you are all invited. NASCAR weekend at Kansas Speedway, May 9th through the 11th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at PAHLincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Spring is here. It's time to get back outside and into proper shoes this year. Brown's Shoe Fit is the place to buy this spring with their sale on athletic shoes. Get $15 off any regular priced athletic shoes with respected brands like Hoka, Brooks, New Balance, and On Running. And don't forget, Brown's carries a large arrangement of sizes and widths to fit your feet properly. Start your spring off right at Brown's Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Cinco de Mayo is May 5th, but the party starts early this year at Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina with their street festival on Saturday, May 3rd. Come down to 8th and Q starting at 1 p.m. on May 3rd and see llamas from Sweet and Sassy's Llama Farm until 4 p.m. and enjoy face painting and balloon animals with Miss Shades at 2 p.m. DJ Wyatt will entertain from 6 to 10:30 p.m. There will be drinks, food, and giveaways, and best of all, no cover charge. It's the early Cinco de Mayo Street Festival with Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina, Saturday, May 3rd, beginning at 1 p.m. at 8th and Q in the Haymarket.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Salt Mine City is not only Lincoln's newest brewery, but they're also now serving food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their peanut butter and jelly burger with bacon and cheddar cheese, or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. Don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 11 a.m. every day but Mondays at 8th and R.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Welcome in On the Block. Austin Norman, Jay Foreman, Eric Strickland with you here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. We are headed to our Allo Fiber VIP line where we're joined by Brian Munson of Husker Online. Brian, welcome back to the show. Thanks for your time. How was your Easter weekend, my friend?
It was good, man. It warmed up today, and it was a little chilly and looked like it was going to rain, but just kind of teased us all weekend long. But it was, it's beautiful. Beautiful here today.
Well, if you wanted the rain, we could have sent some to you from Lincoln. It rained all day yesterday.
I heard we're supposed to get some there's some in the forecast for us the rest of the week. So I'll go ahead and pass because it's coming down the trough, a little bit later, but, we need both. We definitely need some sunshine to get the grass going, and the rain simply has not been here all year enough to kind of carry us through, because once it turns off down here and it doesn't turn back on. It doesn't turn back on until October, November. So we'll be without water down here probably starting in May, and won't get over that until the end of September.
Well, enjoy it while you got it, I guess, would be my advice for you. We bring you on to talk Husker football recruiting here, Brian. And I think the place I want to start is back in Matt Rule's press conference toward the end of last week. A couple things stood out to me about that, but first was him turning a question about in-state recruiting and how that's going to look under the proposed 105-player roster, and him not really answering that question directly, but him launching into a little bit of a speech about how he has one master at Nebraska, and that's to, win the Big Ten and make the college football playoff. When you listen back to that, what was your impression of how Matt Rule kind of spun that question into that answer?
Well, it kind of goes hand in hand with what I kind of said in 3 and Out a week or two ago with, I think every Nebraska fan hopes that every player Nebraska offers goes to Nebraska, number one. And, we've seen guys over the last, couple of years, decide to leave the state, like it's going to be, Isaac Jensen this year. It was Zebert last year, the other tight end. We've seen it before. Going all the way back to my days when I was playing against Ty Good, and covering Trevor Robinson, there's been several players that have decided to leave the state before. So that's not really a new occurrence. But I think that what happens there is that you have so many folks that are in the camp of Nebraska needs to be the first to offer every one of these guys. It can't be Iowa State, and it can't be Kansas State. It can't be all these other schools. But I think the way that Coach Rule went about answering the question, he was very well thought out, because he was saying, look, you're trying to compare apples and oranges. You're trying to tell me that, building a roster at Iowa State is the same as building the roster at Nebraska. And it's not. D1 football has tiers. We have to admit it. Otherwise we would say to ourselves, well, how come a player in Lincoln doesn't have an offer from Ohio State, or doesn't have an offer from Georgia, or doesn't have an offer from, Florida, or whatever the case may be? Because simply put, some guys like some players more than others. They fit in the scheme. They fit in what they're trying to do. And Nebraska is, I think Matt Rule has really come up to speed very, very quickly on what it takes to be competitive in the Big Ten. And he's not saying that there's no Nebraska recruits ever that are going to be able to help him out. He didn't say that at all. He's just saying that if you want to go ahead and decide that everybody that gets an Iowa State offer and everybody that gets a Kansas State offer automatically just gets a Nebraska offer, if you hang that off of him, he is going to fail. He is too hamstrung now with the 105 when he used to carry a roster of 135, 140, and had that capability basically to get those guys to follow in their dreams to come down to Nebraska to either walk on or now, or before, get some NIL money to kind of help them out a little bit. With the 105, the walk-on program goes away. It's gone. I mean, that tradition at Nebraska, it is one of the fondest things that I can ever kind of talk to people about. I think it's one of the greatest traditions, at Nebraska, in Nebraska history. But that being said, there were a lot of players from the state that kind of fell into that bucket, because nationally, Nebraska would go out and they would do well nationally. And there were guys that were back home that were, that was going to be tough for them to play at the next level. But Nebraska was willing to try to see it through and give them time to develop, chance to fall, to kind of chase their dreams. And those days are gone by the NCAA standards. And what Coach Rule is saying is now saying that I can't be handcuffed with having to take every other player in the state that gets a Division I offer from a school that does not play in the Big Ten, because we're trying to be competitive in the Big Ten and we're trying to have a winning record. And we're looking for a certain player, and that player just does not fit with what it is that we're trying to accomplish. I thought it was a very sensible answer. I think it's gonna, if it didn't ruffle some feathers, it likely would, and probably not my answer in the follow-up here today is probably going to ruffle some feathers. But I think that if you could ever do two birds with one stone, you would love to do it. That would be successful at Nebraska and recruit every kid that has a Division I offer to play for you at Nebraska. Now you have the clamps put on you by the NCAA. And now you're feeling the heat because there's 40 some odd % of your roster that you'll no longer have. And now you're trying to find a way to get back to being successful. You're implementing a brand new business model. And I think that there's still going to be ways for those guys to get back to Nebraska. I think what the other point that he made about, hey, you know what, if I recruit him and he comes here and he's not successful and he decides to leave, he leaves Nebraska with a bitter taste in his mouth, versus look at Charmar Brown. Charmar Brown is a guy that's going to be back in town, to take a look at Nebraska. You can always come home. And that's going to be something I'm going to talk about in 3 and Out, because there's another guy that I would say would be the next Charmar Brown a year or two from now. And it's Ike Ackerman. That's another guy that Nebraska may be trying to reconnect with down the road. But you know what you do? You leave the door open. You don't want to go back. And I think this is part that Matt Rule is, probably not saying as bluntly as me. You can really put a player in a bad position to not like you, not like the state, not like the program any longer, because it doesn't go the way that they had hoped. And they decided to go to Nebraska over other schools. And now all of a sudden they find themselves with no opportunity because they have no game film. They can't get to Wayne State. They can't get to Kearney. They can't get to anywhere because they can't get there on the practice film that they have. It's a real slippery slope. But I think that what Matt Rule is doing is actually preserving that opportunity for those guys to go out and be successful someplace to allow them to come back. And sometimes working in corporate America, you have to do that. You have to develop your chops someplace else to get back to where you really wanted to be. If you can go demonstrate it someplace else and then you have that portal there, you can always get back.
That's an incredible answer to lead this off. I'm tempted to just call the interview quits right there, but we won't do that. There's plenty more we can get into here, Brian. I think let me just play devil's advocate for a second here. I don't believe this. I'm, like I said, just playing devil's advocate, but there might be some who would say, well, why doesn't Nebraska at least extend the offer, right? Make it non-committable. Is it a bigger sin to not offer at all, or to put out there essentially a, placeholder offer that you have no intention of honoring, which is more damaging?
Yeah, I think that kind of tongue-in-cheek kind of offer. I mean, Scott Frost got kind of caught up in one a few years back with a quarterback in Louisiana who I think he knew his dad, and he was kind of trying to throw him a bone to get the ball rolling for him a little bit. I don't think that those have necessarily there's no salesmanship really that's kind of associated with that. I mean, Nebraska takes a jump, offers a guy like that. Well, it's going to be one or two things. One of them is going to be that, hey, look, yeah, you are going to get some positive traction and get somebody to go ahead and take another look at that player. But at the same time, you may also have this offer that's out there that gets thrown around inside the coaching circles where everybody's now wondering, what is Nebraska doing? And now there's almost a negative side that can, because there's a negative side that can happen as well when you're not first. Those Iowa States come back and tell people like, hey, we were the first one to see that value in you, not even Nebraska, your home state school did it. But then you can do it the other way around and say, hey, look, we're going to help you out. We're going to try to get get things off the ground. But I think at the end of the day, when you're publicizing the D1s, let's say that you're not actually a D1 guy, based on where things kind of end up after your senior year, I think things are very slow to kind of churn from there. The D2 schools are having to move everything and, left with them too. I don't know if they would even reapproach a guy that had a D1 offer. I think that keeps kind of other schools from kind of looking at them. So I don't know. I see it 6 of one, half dozen of the other, but I don't think that those kinds of kind of help you out offers are good for anybody anymore.
Which then brings me to this, Brian. On the one hand, it doesn't seem like Nebraska's desperate, right? Matt Rule mentioned that answer, right? Desperate teams set the market. But there's a line between desperation and urgency. There's a line between thinking a prospect through and overthinking it. Do you think that Nebraska, at the very least, has a plan for what it's doing in recruiting, that even if, people on the outside don't agree, there is at least some method to the madness of what the coaching staff is doing?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's been an interesting story to kind of watch, with how they're building the 2026 class just in general. I mean, the way that they've scrapped their board, basically after the Iowa game, and all the coaches left, and they rebuilt things basically, and dropped a bunch of guys, never contacted them again, brought a bunch of new coaches back, tried to kick down the doors in Georgia and Florida to get more players in those two areas kind of interested in coming out to Nebraska, identified a bunch of new guys around the country. And they had basically, rebuilt that whole board, in just a couple months, a little less, because like the Elite Junior Day is a perfect example to kind of go back and take a look at some of the names on that list. Those names weren't anywhere. They were nowhere to be found. None of those guys, very few of those guys actually had visited Nebraska prior to that February date. And now most of those guys that were there that weekend on February 1st, they're coming back in June. Nebraska absolutely has the capability of standing up a board very quickly because they know what they want, and they have an ability to get those players interested in returning. Several of those players have come back through the spring already to kind of take another look at spring practices. And then, you get them back then for your June date for an official visit where, things can get a little bit more business-like, and they can have a chance to kind of talk to more about, with the players and get off the record a little bit and figure out what it's really like to be a Husker there, every day. So I think Nebraska has done a terrific job. I think it's very clear that there's a method to the madness, although they don't come out and publish anything anywhere. I think as you kind of read these tea leaves very clearly paint a picture that they're very high on a select group of guys going back to February, and the guys they have brought through this spring, and then you can just go back and look at the official visitor list to really build that board in your mind about what they're kind of targeting.
We're talking with Brian Munson of Husker Online here. Let's talk about some of the guys you've written about recently. Brian, let's start on the offensive line. Very recently, you wrote about Matt Erickson, an in-state prospect, and then also he's 27, and then the 28 class, Armani Edwards, who came to Nebraska. What do we need to know about those two young men?
Well, obviously, Erickson is a guy that, legacy Husker, massive dude, 6'8.5", like 270 pounds. Going to be making a change in high schools from Millard West to Millard North. So that's going to be very interesting to follow. He's really seen a jump in interest. If you go to his Twitter page and kind of check it out, down his feed, he's gotten, personal invites to Florida, to Ohio State, to Michigan. He's getting some of the nation's best programs, that want to see him at camp and take a good look at him. It sounds like he will go, out to Columbus to go ahead and go to camp at Ohio State. At least that's what he's kind of planning on at the moment. So keep a close eye on that. Edwards is a massive guy for being a freshman. I think he was, an offensive tackle, 6'5"-ish, 280, playing down in the Houston area. Nebraska was his very first visit, and this is a guy that holds some serious offers like A&M and Ole Miss, but he went to Nebraska and checked it out and really liked what he saw, and he will be back again to see Nebraska later this summer. And kind of looking at my article tomorrow, guys, on Wednesday anyway, for 3 and Out, I'm going to have, a really good rundown again, like what we just talked about, like how you can go home. If you're Charmar Brown, you can go home. Nothing really got, said to you negatively about Nebraska not recruiting you. Like, no, you can't play football. It was just, you got to go develop it and you got to go show it off someplace else. And then you circle back. And Ike Ackerman may be the next guy that gets a chance to do that too for Nebraska. But Brian Bonner, one of the best running backs in the nation in the 2026 class, he's confirmed to me that he's going to take an official visit to Nebraska. So I'm going to have a 5-good-minute segment with Brian Bonner too. So those are 2 things that I know are going to be coming on Wednesday. I just got to figure out what the third one is. And if you got any help, go ahead and send it my way, dude.
You know what? I will see what I can do. Speaking of 3 and Out, you wrote about Luke Sorensen in your most recent one last Wednesday. Yep. Maybe just give people the little nitty-gritty on him before we get out of here, Brian.
Well, he had such a great time, in town last weekend, 2 weekends ago, not Easter weekend, the weekend before. He saw an offense that scored 3 touchdowns, by 3 different tight ends. He sees an offense that he could really fit in, and he obviously feels like he's got a good relationship with Coach Satterfield. It's a good thing for Nebraska because, you're going to miss on Isaac Jensen because he's taken you off his list, but you've got a guy like Sorensen, you got Lincoln Watkins, you got Camden Jensen out there in Colorado. Nebraska's sitting really good with a number of tight ends. So, Sorensen though is a really interesting dude. And obviously, tied back to that, Servite, league out there in California, one of the best, most competitive leagues in all of high school football. So I think Nebraska really hopes to kind of keep expanding things out there, like with TJ Lateef last year, kind of hoping to get some more guys from that area as well.
That's Brian Munson of Husker Online, our guest here during On the Block. Find him on Twitter at @BrianMunson_. Be on the lookout for the 3 and Out coming out on Husker Online on Wednesday. And, of course, Brian always joins us here at 3:30 on Mondays. Thanks a ton, B. Munson. Appreciate you, man.
See ya.
Brian joined us on our Allo Fiber VIP line. That's where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. We'll bring in the 2 Husker Hall of Famers short segment to wrap up Hour 1 before we talk some hoops in Hour 2 of the show.
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Your sprinklers are watering the street or flooding your backyard. If you're on a list that doesn't exist, it's time for Judson Irrigation. At Judson Irrigation, Lee or Lacey or Judson will make an appointment. You pick the time and they'll be there to fix your sprinkler system. Now that's service, a dying art these days.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Salt Mine City is not only Lincoln's newest brewery, but they're also now serving food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their peanut butter and jelly burger with bacon and cheddar cheese, or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. Don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 11 a.m. every day but Mondays at 8th and R.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Picture this. You're in the doghouse and flowers just won't cut it this time. Enter jewelry, the ultimate peace offering. It's a gesture that speaks volumes, showing her you're willing to go the extra mile to make things right. So next time you're in the doghouse, remember, diamonds are a guy's best friend too. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Cinco de Mayo is May 5th, but the party starts early this year at Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina with their street festival on Saturday, May 3rd. Come down to 8th and Q starting at 1 p.m. on May 3rd and see llamas from Sweet and Sassy's Llama Farm until 4 p.m. and enjoy face painting and balloon animals with Miss Shades at 2 p.m. DJ Wyatt will entertain from 6 to 10:30 p.m. There will be drinks, food, and giveaways, and best of all, no cover charge. It's the early Cinco de Mayo Street Festival with Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina, Saturday, May 3rd, beginning at 1 p.m. at 8th and Q in the Haymarket.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next opportunity? Nebco is hiring. They're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. They offer competitive wages, great benefits, service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Apply today at nebco.com. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for the Nebco shop. Learn more at nebco.com. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at nebco.com.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Stricky, I regret to inform you, your boy did it again.
Who?
Your boy.
D's?
No, your boy.
Oh.
I did know he was important to the fan base. I didn't quite know it to what level. Nico Harrison on Luka Doncic. I did know that Luka was important to the fan base. I didn't quite know it to what level.
Your boy.
That's not my boy. That's not my boy.
What your boy just said there. I can't believe it. Y'all real tight. Y'all got a real good relationship. You should have done better in making sure that what happened there didn't happen.
I'm a shooting coach, not a PR guru.
Yeah, we need to talk about your boy. Your boy. Cooper Flag.
Yeah, we will next segment. Don't worry.
Yeah.
We about to do that.
We need to talk about him. Jay, who's your boy?
Jay, you sent us that quote, though. I knew Luka was important to the fan base. I didn't know it. Didn't quite know it to what level.
Yeah,
that's wild.
He just missed the mark. I mean, he probably just shouldn't be. You know what? He just shouldn't even say anything.
Yeah.
Well, Dumont drug him out in front of the media behind closed doors.
Who did?
Dumont.
Oh.
Yeah. Made him face the media in a closed door session.
Oh, wow.
Don't even think Nico wants to do this.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Sometimes it comes with the job, but there's nothing that he can say now because the trade didn't work in the short term. It's questionable whether it's going to work in the long term. You got a whole bunch of influx with will the Mavericks even be there in 5 years? And you got a dude out in LA, even though they got trounced in the first game in the playoffs, it worked better than people projected. And he ain't even in the prime of his career yet. And you worried about talking about playing defense. They ain't playing no defense in Dallas. They don't play defense in the NBA. Who? Besides Boston? Orlando? They got trounced.
No, whatchamacallit does. OKC does.
Historically defense. Houston.
Okay, that's 3.
Golden State.
Timberwolves 4.
Miami here and there.
Okay,
Timberwolves.
We're still at 4. We already added the Timberwolves. Okay, how many teams are in the NBA?
There are 30 teams in the NBA.
Okay, then. So now you're at a low percentage now. There's not overall defense in the NBA.
Well, I agree with that.
There's not overall defense in the NBA. So what you're doing is you're talking about this dude. Now, Luka is egregious when he don't want to play D.
Correct.
Okay, that's fine. You can talk to him about it, but that's why you trade him? That's what your best excuse is? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying right now. He's in his prime.
Mm-hmm.
And you trade him. Now, then he just started to kind of welcome Kyrie as like his big brother mentor.
Mm-hmm.
And Kyrie's on the back nine of his career.
Yeah.
So really, there's no what I'm saying. There's nothing that anybody could say to say this was legit. It didn't do anything.
Not at all.
Positive.
Except made him worse. Yeah.
And you got people that are mad. They don't want to spend money anymore.
Cubsker, how did he not know that? Half the people in the arena had Luka jerseys, shirts, shoes, and signs. He had to know. Like, is he being willfully obtuse?
He knew. They just didn't think it would be that bad.
Or is it the company line? Like, is he being fed this from above?
They knew it. They just thought that they could run Luka. You gotta think that it's all like they showed him when he got the beer after they beat the Timberwolves. They showed him.
And Stricky's boy. Stricky's boy.
Finley
Stricky's other boy. They give me that.
Then they showed a couple pictures of him when he was overweight. Then they were showing him how he looked when he was still rehabbing. They tried to put it out there that he was just like fat and out of shape, so we had to get rid of him. It didn't work.
And they got rid of him anyways.
You want to know why? Because most of the people watching the games are just like, do they drink beer?
He's one of us.
Right. But he's a baller.
Yeah.
They kept saying he's not like us. No, I'm just
but he is like them. He's the everyman. He's just better at basketball.
And the worst part is that they had success last year. If they were out in the first round, they were probably like, you know what, he is the problem. But he was part of the solution last year.
Mm-hmm.
What do they keep replaying all through the offseason? When he diced up Rudy Gobert, the French Connection.
Right.
So bad they got rid of Cat up there. It's a domino effect.
That's a fact.
Who's the better white basketball player in 5 years, Luka Doncic or Cooper Flag? We'll answer that in a couple minutes.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Picture this. You're in the doghouse and flowers just won't cut it this time. Enter jewelry, the ultimate peace offering. It's a gesture that speaks volumes, showing her you're willing to go the extra mile to make things right. So next time you're in the doghouse, remember, diamonds are a guy's best friend too. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Load up on meat and more this spring at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town. Runners, are you ready? The 48th Annual Lincoln Marathon takes over the streets on Sunday, May 4th. Whether you're chasing a personal best, conquering your first race, or just in it for the bragging rights, this race is for you. Sign up for the full or half marathon today at lincolnmarathon.org, but don't wait, spots are filling fast. Join thousands of runners or line up along the course to cheer them on and make race day unforgettable. The Lincoln Marathon and Half Marathon, your finish line is waiting. Register now at lincolnmarathon.org.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here, summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Make plans to join 93.7 The Ticket and the Amon Green Foundation for the first annual Nebraska Esports Golf Tournament on Monday, June 9th at Wilderness Ridge. It's a four-man scramble starting at 11 a.m. that will feature former Husker greats, including Amon Green, Johnny Rogers, Niles Paul, Tony Davis, Adam Carricker, Vershawn Jackson, and more, with great prizes and great golf. Sponsorships are also available. Email Jake at theticketfm.com for more questions or sign your team up online at theticketfm.com. Early bird registration goes through April 20th, and overall registration goes through May 30th.
Hey, bestie. Whoa, how'd you snag that awesome set of wheels? I'm in the market for a new car, too. My friends at Members Own Credit Union. You're always in the driver's seat when it comes to your finances at Members Own. Always in the driver's seat, huh? Yep. They set you up with a loan that makes sense for your budget with great rates and top-notch customer service to boot. Looks like we're going to need to make a pit stop. Let's go. I'll drive. Hit the road to financial success and explore auto loan options with your best financial friend, Members Own Credit Union. For details, go to membersowncu.org/drive. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Cinco de Mayo is May 5th, but the party starts early this year at Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina with their street festival on Saturday, May 3rd. Come down to 8th and Q starting at 1 p.m. on May 3rd and see llamas from Sweet and Sassy's Llama Farm until 4 p.m. and enjoy face painting and balloon animals with Miss Shades at 2 p.m. DJ Wyatt will entertain from 6 to 10:30 p.m. There will be drinks, food, and giveaways, and best of all, no cover charge. It's the early Cinco de Mayo Street Festival with Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina, Saturday, May 3rd, beginning at 1 p.m. at 8th and Q in the Haymarket.
This is On the Block with Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer, Jay Foreman. Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Yes, it is. Welcome into a Monday show, hour 2, brought to you by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. They got 3 Lincoln locations. They got one up in Omaha. We appreciate them for carrying every type of meat and every type of cut. I'm Austin. Jay and Strick are to my left. Let's talk some hoops. Keep the conversation going. It is official. Cooper Flagg declares for the NBA draft just a handful of days before the deadline to do so. Stricky, we'll start with you. Cooper Flagg, is he a lock to go number 1 overall? Would you take him number 1 overall? What do you want to see from him in the pre-draft process?
Okay. I think when you look out there in the possibilities, and you got to think about what Ace Bailey, Dylan Harper, who else?
Con Knipple.
Yeah, no.
Tyrese Proctor.
Of course, you're you're biased.
Everybody from Duke getting drafted.
Igor Demine, Kasper Shakashonis, VJ Edgecombe, Trey Johnson.
I mean, but that's what I'm saying. Like when I think about and I look at all of those names, and you're number 1, there's really not anything that can happen to you but go down. And I don't foresee that being the case. I could see him wanting and desiring to stay because of what transpired in the tournament this year. And, you know, you want to do it with your brothers and go out on a high note. Mm-hmm. Got that. There's NIL money. You're going to be the number 1 guy. So you're going to exceed probably what you can do by way of NIL because of that, if you're going to be the number 1 guy. But for me, I'm looking at the possibilities of the who can acquire me in this draft process. We all know the balls fall funky sometimes. A little DOC action, it gets funky enough with some funky styles.
That envelope is a little cold.
A little something that makes you say, sometimes. Shaq to Orlando. How that happen? You know what I'm saying? Tim Duncan. You get, how do you get all the number 1 picks at one? Who was that? That is like every year they was the number 1 pick for like 3 years straight. Was that Portland? Who was that? It was like
Cleveland picked back-to-back top overall in 13-14, but they wasted those picks on Anthony Bennett and Andrew Wiggins.
That's crazy.
And they had Kyrie 2 years prior to that in 2011. So 3 out of 4.
Oh, so it's Cleveland because then they got Braun too. Cleveland, how is it that you end up with all these number 1 picks?
Orlando did go back-to-back with Shaq
and some of them
Chris
they
Webber.
won. Yeah, that was one. Because they got Penny next year.
Rockets went back-to-back in 83-84. Ralph and Hakeem.
Now that's crazy.
Probably the best overall stretch consecutively of number 1 overall picks. 79 Magic, 80 Joe Barry Carroll, 81 Mark Aguirre, 82 James Worthy, 83 Sampson, 84 Olajuwon, 85 Ewing, 86 Brad Doherty, 87 David Robinson, 88 Danny Manning.
You going Danny Manning number 1?
Back then, he just won a national championship.
Oh, in an upset manner too, and ball.
It was Danny Manning, Rick Smits, Charles Smith, Chris Morris, Mitch Richmond, Hersey Hawkins as the top 6.
Oh no, if I go with the Smiths there.
Yeah, Rick
Dan Marley was 14th. Rod Strickland was 19th.
Dang.
How he get way down there?
He's off the court. Rod Strickland.
Oh,
yeah.
DePaul. He was wild in his shot.
Anthony Mason, 53rd overall.
Anthony had that funny hop step with the hezzy. You remember that guy? Y'all remember the dude that came out? He had a little stint with the goggles, and he was a big dude, and he wore all the tight joints with the Chucks on, and his shot was broke like Austin's.
Is Anthony Mason?
No, you remember the dude that he was on all the. They started having him at the All-Star game. He wears the goggles and the headband.
Yeah.
He fake like he can play, and he just be doing the hezzy, the high step hezzy.
Yeah, what about him?
That was Anthony Mason's hezzy.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Oh, but I didn't know you knew I was talking about.
I know you're talking about, yeah.
The dude, kind of heavy set dude.
Yeah. I know you're talking about.
Yo, that dude's funny. That was Anthony Mason's hezzy. He would throw that leg up and do his thing.
He was a D lineman.
That's right.
Yeah.
Ant was Big Swole too. He was physical. And every now and then I got switched on him. I was like, my goodness. And I don't mind leveraging, but that big sucker, bro. That rest in peace, Loved him. Good guy. Okay, go ahead. What else?
Jay, Cooper Flagg will be the best number 1 overall pick since who? Have the best number 1 overall pick career since.
Are you talking about that went to you gonna say over Wemby?
He ain't gonna be better than Wemby. He's gonna be better than Zion.
Oh, you're saying okay, let me make sure I hear the question. Say that again.
So let's just go since 2020, right? Or 2019, since Jay threw out Zion. Your number 1 overall picks: Zion Williamson, Ant-Man, Cade Cunningham, Paolo Banchero, Victor Wembanyama, Zachary Risa-Share. How many of those guys out of those 6 will Cooper Flagg have a better career than?
1, 2, Zion and that last dude.
Risa-Share?
Risa-Share. Oh, yeah.
Worcestershire sauce.
Yeah. I say 2 and a possible. And I got the Joker and the small Joker.
Better career, Cade or Cooper?
Cade.
That's the possible.
Better career, Cooper or Paulo?
I think Paulo has the better upside. I really think that for me, it depends on where Cooper goes.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna stick to that.
That's where for him it's all that.
It depends on where he goes. I think if he goes to Utah,
he needs to go
I think if he goes to Phoenix, I think if he goes to Orlando,
they need another guard. They don't need another wing.
He goes to Charlotte, he goes in the tank.
They need to.
He
trade
goes to
Jalen
DC,
and
he goes in the
all
tank.
them and get a true veteran point guard.
Dude, certified.
Yeah, and then with Cooper.
You don't
Flagg
like Suggs? Suggs is a defensive juggernaut, and he can run the team.
But you need to get rid of Anthony and all them other dudes. What's the dude that came down from Philly? Get him up out of there too.
Mikal Fultz?
Yeah.
He's been actually playing pretty good
That's
now.
what
He's
I'm
been
saying.
playing
That's
better.
why you trade him.
You probably
And then
could
you
trade
can
him and
try
get
to
something
Cooper
from him.
Flagg.
Better career, Cooper Flagg or Karl Anthony Towns?
I'm gonna let Jay tap in on that one.
It all depends on where Cooper Flagg goes.
I'm gonna stick to that.
Just for
No, I don't want to project because
Probably
it's gonna depend. He goes to the Clippers, he goes in the tank.
Cooper Flagg.
He goes to Portland, he goes in the tank. He goes to Utah, there's some upside, probably tradable upside. He goes to Detroit, shaky.
Cooper Flagg or Andrew Wiggins? The main event or Maple Jordan?
I think I don't think Cooper gets in his head as much as Wiggins does. So I'll say Cooper. I think Wiggins gets in his own way sometimes.
Yeah, I'll say Cooper Flagg will have it though, but he ain't faced no adversity yet.
If Cooper goes, okay, here's one for you.
Go your whole career
Since you
without
want to
facing
throw
him.
stuff out there, here's one for him. If Cooper, where does he have the best place as an aging group comes if he goes there now? You understand what I'm saying? So if he goes there now, these teams are aging and they're possibly going to lose if he goes to Golden State or he goes to Phoenix.
Do you know what those teams would have to trade to get there?
No, I'm saying everything works out. I don't want to think about a team where they are because you can't predict them. I'm saying
he's trying
to get out.
Yeah,
See
he's
what
trying to
you're
get his
do?
answer together.
I'm throwing it back at you. If he goes to, because he can go to a team like that. If he goes to a team that's aging out where they have that veteran leadership, and I'm telling you, it's Phoenix and it's
Golden State.
Or Golden State.
Phoenix would intrigue me because I think he brings what they need, but I think that the style of play would be better with Golden State. I do think Coop's a pretty smart player. He's a really good passer. I mean, he led Duke in assists this year. I think that sort of off-the-ball defensive presence, he's not Draymond. That way no one is. But I think he has that same sort of outline defensively, versatile, good passer on both sides of the ball. I think he would fit really well in Golden State as a bigger wing for them.
Okay.
Take over for Jimmy in a few years.
402-464-5685. Like, you know what? You know, and listen, I'm saying Steph is not there anymore. I'm saying
So does that mean
KD's
Steve
not
Kerr's gone
there
too?
anymore. I'm saying this team is aging out.
Yeah.
And these guys, Draymond and those guys are going to be gone, retiring or out.
Does Steve Kerr go with him?
No. I think he would. I don't think Steve wants to rebuild. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think he wants that smoke.
So Steve Kerr needs a Mark Jackson before him.
I think Steve likes, like, he's smart, he's intelligent, he's played, he's been around. I think he does well with high IQ talent. You can see how he struggles with Kuminga. You can see how he struggles sometimes with Bojanski. You know what I mean? Some of these guys and the things that you definitely see how he struggles with Buddy Hield. I don't think losing Steph and guys like Draymond who can Jordan Poole you if, you get out of line.
But Jimmy Butler's there.
Well, Jimmy's there
35.
too, but Jimmy's aging. So that's what I'm saying. This group is aging out. That's why I wanted to throw that to him, because I think he would fit with that group if they're still there. But if they decide to retire or move or bounce, which place would be a better fit for him, suited to make sure that, he fits well in the NBA?
I will say all your concerns are valid about his offense, right, being behind his defense. I don't know what Cooper Flag becomes offensively in the NBA. Is he a number one option? I don't know. I don't think he's Jason Tatum. I've heard that comparison thrown out for him a lot. I think Tatum's got a deeper bag, better handle, more natural scorer than Cooper is. But I do think I saw plenty of growth from Cooper at Duke against some decent competition. Yeah, the ACC wasn't great, but
you got better over the year.
Right. And again, like you said, young for his class, reclass. He turned 18 2 days before the new year, something like that. So I don't think Cooper Flag is, a no doubt bona fide, 25 point per game scorer. But could you see him averaging 19, 11, and 5 for his career? Yeah, I could.
11 rebound?
Yeah. He's a 2? Is second option,
11
third option?
rebounds for his career, Austin.
Okay, 19, 9, and 5?
8, 7, or 6. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I think Cooper's offense is fine. I just think where he goes will dictate how many points he scores. I'm telling you. Because he has enough skill and he will get bigger and stronger. And he doesn't even have to get weight bigger. He'll just fill out. He's just, you can tell he still has, he's big. He's a big kid, but he's going to get that grown man strength. So then therefore his quickness and everything, and he's going to continue to work on his game. That'll be there. Whoever can get a hold of him and accentuate what he does well will be the difference of averaging 19 or 23, 24 points.
Do you guys know who has a 10.5% chance of landing Cooper Flag?
San Antonio Spurs.
Oklahoma City.
They have no.
Yeah.
You think
it is?
If that happens, that's crazy. They got to move Chet, though, I think.
Yeah, Chet got to go.
They don't play the same position.
Yeah, but
he got to go.
They would be doing the same thing.
They wouldn't be doing the same thing. Yeah. Chet's a true 5. Coop's a 3 or 4.
Bruh. Okay.
Chet,
I'm gonna let you get that. I'm gonna let you get that off.
Chet's a true 5.
He been at Lake Minnetonka too much. He been kicking it too hard.
He also had a hip fracture.
He said Lake Minnetonka.
Listen, I'm just telling you right now, he's been kicking it too much.
Okay.
He's been feeling himself too much. Now I like Chet. You know what I'm saying? He's a homeboy, but you out there at Maynard's too much, brother. You and Blake Thorne, you guys are kicking it. Chris Humphries, you guys kicking it too much up there. All you guys. It's like Wonder Twin Powers unite. It's like they out there with them little shorts out there. Got it, they out there they trying to recreate that love boat the Vikings had.
Dang.
They doing too much.
Logical Raptors fanatic, you're going nuts on YouTube. Really appreciate you chiming in here. Let's see. If Philly keeps the pick, do you like him in Philly?
No, I don't like anybody close to Embiid.
That's who had the run of first round draft picks.
Yeah, Fulkerson and Embiid.
Yeah.
But I don't want anybody. I don't want any.
That's a garbage.
This is how rookies generally make it.
Well, Philly had 2 back-to-back. That was Simmons and Fultz. Embiid didn't go 1-1.
Embiid wasn't 1?
No.
Oh.
But how you make it is the best thing for Cooper Flag is going to be able to see somebody that's actually a professional. It doesn't
Agreed.
even matter if the player's good or not. You could have a PJ Tucker that shows you how to be prepared and do the things you need to do to be the best you can be. If he goes to Philly, you got Paul George and you got Embiid. Two dudes you do not want. And I think Paul George is better than Embiid, but Embiid is a star player. So you're going to see that subconsciously and think that's the way you need to act. Now, is he going to do it like action for action?
No.
But you want to get him into a place or with a coach or an organization that is going to lead him to a faster track to becoming a star. Because look, Philly, OKC, Minnesota, wherever the heck he goes, don't need it. The NBA needs it. America needs it. It's like Star Wars and Princess Leia is talking to Lucy. You are our last hope. He is the last hope. He is. He's the last American, I guess you could say, AJ going to BYU, but he's a knucklehead. You can already tell from his YouTube, his stuff. He's a knucklehead.
So you said Utah would be acceptable, probably.
No.
No?
No, hell no. You're gonna send him to Utah? That's suicide.
Tricky?
This is crazy.
I don't think.
You guys have to understand, he's going number 1 overall, and there are only 14 teams with a chance at him.
Okay, then take Utah out.
Okay.
And now you're at 13.
Utah,
Gone.
Washington,
I'd rather him go Washington to Utah.
Charlotte, New Orleans, Philly.
He gained some weight down there.
Brooklyn.
I'd like Brooklyn might be all right. He might need some security. But Brooklyn,
you rolling with Brooklyn? You rolling with Brooklyn?
Yeah, New York, big city, the little brother, but it could create some New York, New Jersey.
Closer to home.
Yeah.
Stricky, you rolling with Brooklyn?
I'm not against it.
Yeah, I'm better than Utah. No, that's
I would say
Okay.
I'm not against
Toronto.
No, that's why they sent Barrett back.
You said San Antonio is fine.
Your boy.
Houston currently holds Phoenix's first round pick at number 9. Coop in Houston.
And BK to be the coach.
In Duque.
the little pretty boy. My man got he been over the Knicks fades all the time over there.
You already said no to Portland.
No to Portland?
I don't think Portland.
Yeah, that's too far. He can't. You're not going to get the best of Cooper Flag.
Dallas?
Being way out in them. See, that's where he's going. That's what they're going.
To atone for Nico?
Yeah. White dude for white dude. That's what you get. Now
that might work. They might go with it just to get just to appease the Mavs fans, right? So they stay in Dallas.
And they're gonna allow you to trade in your Luka jersey for Flag jersey. You get 30% discount.
They might go with it.
Chicago?
No.
Dallas.
Atlanta or Sacramento?
Definitely not Sacramento.
Yeah, I don't think.
Atlanta. You had to get Boosie and Young Jeezy to sign off on him. And T.I. I'm telling you, he'd have to get instant street cred or else it ain't going to work. He needs to go to Dallas. I'm saying Dallas right now.
You saying Dallas?
Yeah. The league needs it. You messed that up. Kyrie's a dookie. Mm-hmm. And he still,
is he professional enough to show Cooper the ropes?
I think he is.
We buy him?
I think he is now.
Stricky?
You think he's what?
Is he that veteran professional leader that you guys are saying you think Cooper Flag needs early in his career? Is that Kyrie?
Yeah, I think Kyrie's fine. I think Kyrie gets a bad rap.
I think he's better now. I think he's grown. I think he was a young punk when he came in the league. I think he was taking too much what Kobe was saying to the heart. You ain't Kobe. And Kobe can tell you what he done when he was out there. Kobe ran off Shaq. So so now you have no idea what it is to be a teammate. I think he learned the hard way. I think that situation in Boston changed his whole perspective on NBA basketball. It did. And then with the whole thing of Stephen A coming at him sideways when he was at Brooklyn and he kind of refound himself, I think he went to Dallas. And initially, everybody thought that Dallas trade was not going to work because of what they were thinking. I think he's the best version of him right now.
The other option here, Stricky, is PJ Washington.
What about him?
He would essentially be playing Cooper's position.
I think he's better than PJ. And PJ's on contract, so them being together for a few years as he develops, that's not a problem.
That's what I'm saying. But PJ Washington would be that guy to show him the ropes.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's
yeah,
fine.
PJ's fine.
I think I mean, on the surface, I think it'd be a good locker room. I think Anthony Davis is harmless. I think some of them other guys that they have in there would be good too. And who knows, Jason Kidd too, dealing with the pressure of coming in as a high draft pick if he's still around. I mean, if they somehow just accidentally fired a head coach,
that part.
Whoops.
Send him an email.
Finger slipped on the button.
Yeah,
that part.
A couple things from the text line. Cupsker says the Bulls have been too mid to have a first overall pick. Haven't had one since 2008. Who did the Bulls take number 1 overall in 2008, gentlemen?
08?
08.
DeMar DeRozan?
No.
Youngest player ever to win MVP.
Oh, Derrick Rose.
Derrick Rose.
Dang.
That's the Bulls' last number 1 overall pick. For a franchise that before Michael got there was not anything.
They had Reggie
And then they
Theus
became, that's what I'm saying.
and Orlando Woolridge.
And then Eric says, "Oh, you guys mean Kyrie the flat earther? Get out of here. He's not the role model."
I think I think you really have him mistaken. Like,
I think
he's just mistaken.
I think he's one of you see this all the time in the NBA, or not in the NBA, but in the NFL. You see these dudes come in immensely talented, think they know everything, be individually driven, and find out that actually the game's bigger than them. And I think he would give back to Cooper probably tenfold, as long as the personalities clash. And the reason why I say it's different because
mesh, not clash,
mesh. Excuse me. But I remember when KG was a horrible veteran, when Zerbiak was at the Timberwolves, which led to Gugliotta and everybody starting to disperse because of that. So you have to break the rookies down, but you don't beat them down. You know what I'm saying? And I think KG grew from that because he talks about how he handled Rondo differently than he didn't mention Zerbiak. Now Zerbiak was a little bit of a, he's a New York dude or whatever. He wasn't going to back down, but you're trying to mark your territory. But I think Kyrie, unless I'm mistaken, I think he'd be good, man. I think he's dealt with the pressure of being number 1. I think he's dealt with learning how to be reluctantly a number 2. I think he was at the mountaintop and forced him way, kind of didn't handle things maybe on his, just obligation wise to like a big brother figure in LeBron. And now he saw that what he was trying to do. And then he went to Boston and fell on his face and dealt with true negativity in Boston, reconvened, and then you can't really count the whole stuff with like COVID and all that other stuff. And then he came down to Dallas.
I think he's been good since. Go ahead,
I think he got kind of left out there. He got left in Brooklyn. So he was like, "Oh, the boys left me. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's how I'm operating." And then he found himself. And then I think he came down to Dallas, and you saw a better or different player, more defensive minded player than maybe I'd always felt like he could play D. But I think in the playoffs last year, you saw him really lock down and play a Robin role to Batman, and then be Batman when he needs to. So if Cooper comes in, I'm sure he drop some ism, make sure that he doesn't, bump his head. And I would be very surprised if he didn't, because I don't think Cooper Flag comes in as a like a Christian Laettner type,
right?
Or like a young Punk type. I don't think he does.
I agree.
I don't foresee that.
Right. Plus, he can't even drink.
True.
Well, you couldn't either when you first got here at camp.
No, so I didn't until I was 21.
Cap.
We'll settle this one during
Stop the cap right now.
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese, with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Your new Total Wine in Lincoln has the largest selection of wines, spirits, and beers, plus totally low prices and friendly service from our helpful guides. With over 8,000 wines, 4,500 spirits, and 2,500 beers, you're sure to find your favorites and something new. You can even order delivery, in-store, or curbside pickup. Find what you love what you find, only at Total Wine and More. Now open in Lincoln next to Gateway Mall.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? Do you need a lawyer you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion? The attorneys at Liberty Law understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Contact us for a free consultation by calling 877-42-LIBERTY. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
Get ready for the largest dirt late model event in Nebraska, race fans. The Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series is heading to Eagle Raceway's High Bank Heist on Thursday, May 15th through Saturday, May 17th. See the greatest dirt late model stars in the country compete for $10,000 to win on both Thursday and Friday, and an enormous $50,000 to win 75-lap main event on Saturday. The High Bank Heist, May 15th through May 17th at Eagle Raceway. For more info, visit eagleraceway.com. Let's go Lucas Oil Late Model Racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Take control of your health with the DASH scan at Advanced Medical Imaging. The DASH scan is a full-body MRI designed for advanced health screening. This dynamic approach provides exceptionally sharp images across multiple organ systems, helping to detect potential concerns early. With minimal radiation and no invasive procedures, the DASH scan offers a safe, comprehensive look at your health. Plus, results are delivered faster than ever, giving both patients and physicians confidence in screening and diagnosis. Your health is too important to wait. Schedule your DASH scan today at Advanced Medical Imaging. Visit amimaging.com or call 402-484-6677 to learn more.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Picture this. You're in the doghouse and flowers just won't cut it this time. Enter jewelry, the ultimate peace offering. It's a gesture that speaks volumes, showing her you're willing to go the extra mile to make things right. So next time you're in the doghouse, remember, diamonds are a guy's best friend too. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
You grew up on cereal for breakfast and you graduated into drinking coffee at some point as an adult. Now there's a place in Lincoln where you can stay caffeinated but eat like you used to. Control Coffee and Cereal Bar brings Saturday morning vibes to every day with locally roasted specialty coffees, Lotus energy drinks, and tons of breakfast cereals with toppings. And did we mention they have video games to play while you're there too? Control Coffee and Cereal Bar open 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday and 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the weekends at 15th and Pine Lake.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC in Louisville has experienced hail damage, and there's never been a better time to buy a new or pre-owned vehicle. The hail was very spotty, some pretty light, others heavier, but there are huge discounts right now happening at Koppel. So please do not wait. Get thousands of additional discounts along with 0% APR. There will be a lot of people heading this way to purchase vehicles. So stop on in or check us out online at koppelcars.com. All deals with approved credit.
Runners, are you ready? The 48th annual Lincoln Marathon takes over the streets on Sunday, May 4th. Whether you're chasing a personal best, conquering your first race, or just in it for the bragging rights, this race is for you. Sign up for the full or half marathon today at lincolnmarathon.org, but don't wait, spots are filling fast. Join thousands of runners or line up along the course to cheer them on and make race day unforgettable. The Lincoln Marathon and Half Marathon, your finish line is waiting. Register now at lincolnmarathon.org.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what?
I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, areas of frost this morning. Otherwise, mainly sunny with a light breeze, a high near 77. Tonight, showers and storms possible. Otherwise, partly cloudy, a low near 53. And tomorrow, we'll see decreasing clouds throughout the day with light winds and a high near 77. I'm meteorologist Kyle Pluckett for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
This is On the Block. Austin Norman, Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman with you. This segment brought to you by Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Check them out online, heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. Free estimates, full window replacements, lifetime warranty on everything, all vinyl, triple pane, all that good stuff. They're based in Hallam, own team of installers, all that good stuff. Learn more at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. NBA playoffs officially tipped off with the first round. All the matchups were set. Stricky, do you want to make Jay answer questions about his boy again? His boys to start this off?
Yeah.
117.95, Jay.
Which boy you asking me about?
You know who? Where you from, my boy?
They're both your boys.
I'm trying to give you credit.
I'm gonna tell you what, man. I was surprised at how well they play because the Timberwolves hadn't played well all year this year, like consistent. Ant-Man's done his thing, and I think Randall coming back and Nas played lights out, and then you got the bonus points from McDaniels. That's it right there.
25 of them
to that tune. And then on top of it, they beat the brakes out. I mean, the Lakers just look like the Lakers look like they thought that they were going to automatically get grandfathered 2 games because they were at home, and then they looked like they still were on the, I guess I'll call it a bye week or pre-playoff. It was almost like the layoff was too long for them.
For the Lakers?
Yeah, and they just got blitzed.
They're rusty.
Yeah.
And then I think LeBron took some extra time off because I guess that growing strain or whatever. But then you had your boy step up and say, Lakers in 5. Doom, doom, doom. Lakers in 5. Remember, did you see that? Did y'all see that?
The remix.
The Shay remix?
I think also
that was hilarious. I was crying.
I will say this. I think LeBron was taken back by how well Minnesota was shooting. Everybody was hitting. Everybody was hitting.
And they had a game plan. So now, okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And now it's going to be. Now LeBron's going to have to be the lead dog. Now LeBron, I think, was maybe trying to play. I call it coy too much, like waiting and seeing. By the time you're ready to get active, the game's over. The Timberwolves was activated.
So here's the thing. Anytime you're approaching a playoff game, there is a strategy. There is, how are we going to approach this game based on the way that they cover or don't cover, or where are the weaknesses or the holes in this game? I mean, in their normal way. Now, they may come out and throw some extra stuff at us. They may come out and blitz us against Ant-Man. They may throw something at us. But at the end of the day, what is that? Their plan was take advantage of mismatch. We're going at Luka. We're going at Reeves. And we putting them, that's why I said they needed both Nas and Julius Randle to be able to do work. And they did. So now you've got to figure out, are we going to come help? Are we going to let them work? But even just the eyes looking over there, they were looking cross-court diagonal. That was where their attack zone was. They missed a couple on passes, threw them over the head. That was their attack. So once Randall and Nas Reed got going, Ant was doing his thing. Not crazy, but he was doing his thing. Conley hitting.
Yeah.
And the big bear inside is just taking up space.
Yeah.
didn't really play as much because of the matchup, right? So now when you're hitting, it's trouble because they're hunting. We're coming at him, and there's nothing you're going to be able to do about it tonight. Now we're going to see who JJ Redick is.
Yeah, because that's where the problem is. He up there, like you always
They didn't
worry,
make no adjustments in game.
you always worry about a coach when you when you throw out this word physicality. It's got 50 million terms, and you say it's not the scheme. Yeah, it was. Nas Reed can't. First of all, Nas Reed is a stretch 4 or 5. He's been there. Now he can get in there and bang, but that's how he's made his money, right? Mm-hmm. So if I know it, Strick knows it, everybody knows it, but he's wide open on at least 3 of his threes he made. He's wide open. So that is the scheme. That's the defensive coverage
and the attacking early, right? Not letting them, because what has the Lakers been known for? I'm gonna let you continue on that. They've been known for lackluster hustle.
Yeah, 50-50 balls
so we're gonna hustle, push them down, and they got at least 8 to 10 looks,
extra shots,
just off of that.
Shots. So that's that falls on the players.
Yeah,
and that's why he said physicality. He would have been better off talking about true factual effort.
Factual effort,
that's
adjustments.
Right. And then,
I need to do better. Take the onus. I need to do better. We didn't make.
I need to
make
do
the
better.
type of adjustments.
I need to make some better adjustments. But what we need to adjust in that locker room is our factual, effort.
Mm-hmm.
And then once we do those 2 things, this series will be just fine.
There you go.
Period.
Because the way he came off,
because all he did is he said it's over here, but this right here we're good.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
That's a fact.
And really, you should have took it. I mean, if you want to talk about scheme and coverages, you just look at the way that Steve Kerr in Golden State defends a bigger team and definitely a way more younger and athletic team, and had them completely confused.
Mm-hmm.
He even had Van Fleet confused, and he's a veteran. And they thought it was zone. It was sometimes matchup zone, but it was actually man.
Mm-hmm.
That you had your boy Jalen Green. He still don't know what's going on.
Well, that's because
he's still, I'm just telling you, he played last night straight.
Right.
If you texted him right now and said, what was they doing? He said, I don't know, bro. I'm trying to figure it out.
And see, that's what I'm talking about, Jay. That's just good coaching and a smart team, because you can do that.
Yeah, you got to have the right.
You got to have the right team for that.
You got to have the right.
Right, because it wasn't gimmicky, but it was detailed. It was detailed. It was, we have to do this. And when you're on the other side, you have good coaching, but you don't have you have good coaching, athleticism, youth,
but you don't
have high IQ
or the buy-in.
Right.
Because this isn't fun to young teams.
Yeah.
Or young players that used to, you got to think, from Jabari Smith to Green, who else is a young stunner on that team?
Thompson,
and then is the cat from Villanova still there?
Even Shagun's young. They're all young.
Yeah, but what's the cat they drafted out of?
Cam Whitmore?
Yeah, is he there?
I think so.
Right. So them dudes are used to playing AU basketball. Mm-hmm. Where they say all we're doing is playing man. You get it here. Now it's Strick turn to get his bag. All right, you went off for 6 in a row. All right, let me get mine. And then we win 86-84 in front of the sold out.
That's the part they think.
That's how they like
right
playing.
In their mind.
So when you play against some dudes, and then you got the ultimate X factor in Curry, and then you have you got Jimmy Butler getting busy, then you got Draymond punking you, and then you got Moody, and then you got everybody else coming at you, and they playing real basketball. You like, oh, I don't want none of this. Like this is like, let's just do this. Let's do. Maybe the next game they change. That's what I'm saying. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Because then for a whole 2 weeks, however long since they locked up number 2, they've been rolling around Houston. They've been going to
chilling, getting all hype.
They've been going to Papa Do's. They've been going to get their hair cut. They've been going to Houston's restaurant. They've been going all these different places down in the Galleria. People, they think, oh man, you guys are next coming of Akeem Olajuwon and Kenny Smith and them. You guys are it.
Yeah.
Not yet.
No, and got broke off. It's 4-1. It's gonna be general. It's gonna be 4. This is over.
You think it's that?
It's over.
Bold proclamation.
Bold
I like it.
proclamation.
It's over because they're not invested. And as much as I like LeBron and the Lakers, the chink in the armor is what JJ said after it, which makes me think they might get swept. Now, LeBron's such a savage that they won't, because when he gonna make sure they not get swept. But here's why they could possibly get swept. JJ is out of his league right now. I think Finch doesn't get enough credit as a coach.
Yeah, he's good.
I don't think he gets. I don't think he gets enough credit as a coach on how he's almost Steve Kerr like. He lets Ant do his thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then he has him surrounded with guys.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's all mental too. You got to think when he got hurt last year, he ain't missed a beat.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
right.
it's mental though.
Mm-hmm.
When you can really get your star player invested in winning, and then also be okay with when he kind of gets off the rails a little bit, get him back in.
I've been there.
Because Ant-Man will play D on you though.
He will. I've been where you're talking about, Jay. When I went to that Boston team, they were a team.
Was it like Houston? I don't want to stop. Is it more like Houston? Young team.
We had a combo of young and veterans.
Right.
So I can't say it was all youth, but there's a piece of it that I'm going to say you was right on. As Antoine Walker, Paul Pierce, adversity, coming off losing a lot of games. New coach, Patino gets kicked. Jim O'Brien steps in. He then has to get, what'd you say? Buy-in.
Yeah.
He had to sit down. Now, you also had the adversity of him being stabbed. So you had a lot of things. So now you have young team, new coach, need to get buy-in. He had to sit them down so he could tell them, we need you, but you've got to understand
the big picture.
The big picture.
Yeah.
And that's why that team was good.
Houston's probably a year early.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And that's okay. But guess who else was like that?
OKC last year.
Talk to me, Austin.
Let's talk about it after break. There's a lot to dive into for the NBA playoffs to wrap up the show.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? Do you need a lawyer you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion? The attorneys at Liberty Law understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Contact us for a free consultation by calling 877-42-LIBERTY. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
Your new Total Wine in Lincoln has the largest selection of wines, spirits, and beers, plus totally low prices and friendly service from our helpful guides. With over 8,000 wines, 4,500 spirits, and 2,500 beers, you're sure to find your favorites and something new. You can even order delivery, in-store, or curbside pickup. Find what you love what you find, only at Total Wine and More. Now open in Lincoln next to Gateway Mall.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Although we can't control the air we breathe outside our home, we can make a healthy difference inside, and all it takes is a call to Bryant. With healthy air options, Bryant can help you eliminate allergens, odors, and harmful chemicals, all while controlling indoor humidity levels at the same time. If it's time for a breath of fresh air inside, it's time to call Bryant. Breathe easy, breathe healthy. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Picture this. You're in the doghouse and flowers just won't cut it this time. Enter jewelry, the ultimate peace offering. It's a gesture that speaks volumes, showing her you're willing to go the extra mile to make things right. So next time you're in the doghouse, remember, diamonds are a guy's best friend too. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball. Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Final segment of the show brought to you by Love Volleyball Omaha. Get your season tickets for next year or renew your season tickets at lovboma.com. Stricky, you asked him about the Oklahoma City Thunder. Not quite historic, but still, they put 51 on Memphis in the first round. What the heck? That shouldn't happen. That can't happen. How does that happen? 51.
Yeah, bro. We just talking about that. You had your mind on a lot of other things. You had import going on, and you had a lot. You had a lot
There was
going
a tariff
on.
on that bad boy there.
Man, you had a lot going on, and the game was where?
OKC.
Yeah, you had something coming up from Dallas, Houston. Y'all created your own little. It's getting hot in here. And all of a sudden your legs is gone and you step out on the court and just get lambasted because OKC's, listen, that's the lesson they learned. OKC was Houston last year.
Yeah, man.
They learned lesson. They probably was out there, we the number one, you know how it is. You think this thing is sweet and then realize that playoffs is a whole different game, especially when you the hunted.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I think that's what happened.
Yeah,
Jay?
I think also you look at Memphis, their coach got fired, and then you look at Denver, their coach got fired.
Two very different responses.
Championship pedigree, championship type of players and mentality, right? Mm-hmm. Led by Joker, who's invested, versus Memphis, led by Ja, whether you like it or not, because I think Jaren Jackson is probably
he looked good. I ain't gonna lie.
I think he's their best player, but Ja is the face. Unfortunately for them.
When did he get that range?
And you get two different responses. I think you look at Memphis, they just look like a bunch of kids trying to be, they're just like little young punks. Take Jaren Jackson out, but they tried, they're like fake tough guys. Versus like Denver, that's a tough team. And especially when you got Gordon out there. Somebody socked him in his eye. He used that shotgun willies or some guy. My man got black.
That's where Ja got the first time.
Hey, Aaron Gordon for the Denver Nuggets, he got a black eye and a swollen lip.
Yeah.
And he ain't played a game.
Yeah, that's where Ja's first video came out. Shotgun Willies. Yeah.
He was up in the
Up in Denver.
In the VI. That's what Kelly. Oh wait, I'm sorry.
But then I mean that's the difference in the two teams, and I don't know how you come back from. I don't think Memphis has the
mental fortitude
to come back. I think they think this is a game. I think the whole thing with Memphis. I think they think this is playtime.
Playtime's over, boy. What movie was that, Jay?
What was that? The Shogun of Harlem, man.
Shogun of Harlem.
Yeah. I think the whole thing about Memphis, I think they think is playtime. If you go back to when Golden State and Draymond, and they remember when Draymond got kicked out, and then John Morant's dad and all that. Then when I think the next year the Timberwolves went in there and did their thing, and then you had the whole stuff with John Morant. I just think they play. I think they think this is like an AAU type of deal. I think that's how they approach it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like AAU, and you got a couple, out of control parents, and you got a really talented team. They haven't matured, and probably that's the reason why they fired the coach. But the coach ain't picked the players.
No,
he just coached them. Because as much as you can say you haven't got anything done with John Moran or matured, he's got the best out of Jaren Jackson.
Yeah, Brandon Clark had a run.
Yeah,
Des Baines. Borderline.
It got way better.
Mm-hmm.
Got paid. Maybe you have to do it about face. Maybe you send John Moran up to Portland. You want to get if Adam Silver wants to straight up. If Adam Silver wants to get the best out of John Moran, send him up to the Pacific Northwest.
You can headline the Seattle franchise for expansion.
Send him up there for that hum.
Because you know what that'll do? That'll give you a little bit of reality check. I'm not so sweet. You ain't on ESPN. Your face ain't on there no more. You can't bring a lot of stuff up there because they'll jam you up there. Hey. So let's see how much you want to play basketball, or you be like Stephon Marbury playing for the Shanghai Sharks.
You've also mentioned
he just got married though to a pop singer.
For Starbury,
did
he? Yeah. You ain't see it?
I didn't see it.
You mentioned the Nuggets as well. That's one I thought the Clippers were ready to run away with in the first half. They shot the load. 35 points in the first quarter. They don't score.
Pause.
Shot the clip. Sorry, whatever. They didn't score more than 23 points. They didn't score more than 23 points in another quarter. Legs were gone. Legs were gone.
No wonder where you was going. That's a pause.
That's exactly. That's exactly what. Hey, Austin. This is running a close to Dixon. That's a close to Dixon. That's a close
or
to
Grady Dick.
Yeah, but this is Dixon. This is close Dixon. Austin, and you self-admitted it. You
Look at red as the flower over there. We love it. We have fun on the block, man. Let's go, bro.
Anyway, still should be a good series.
Oh, man.
Denver and Los Angeles.
I think this is gonna go. I think it's gonna go the full length.
Hope so.
So you saw Kawhi. I like what I saw of Kawhi when they needed the basket. He just get out of the way. You saw what when he's healthy and ready. He's a problem. James Harden played. I think. Look, as much as
32, 6, and 11.
He played a hell of a game. And then you got Mr. No Callback. I think gonna make a ton of adjustments.
Saw this from Brandon Anderson on Twitter.
Mr. No
Callback. He bet on James Harden's overs or whatever in game one. So this is since James Harden's MVP in 2018. James Harden averages 31.8 points per game in game ones off of 3 or more days of rest. But then in game twos, goes all the way down to 20.8. He scored fewer points in game 2 than game 1 in 10 of his 12 series. 14-point differential in 10 of those 12 in game 2s. So
line them up.
Clippers might have gotten the best James Harden they got all series in game 1.
Wow.
We had no Warhorse.
And that's going to be a tough road for them if Harden's not that good again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to see here in a couple hours, right? They play tonight.
Should be tonight as well. Yep. That game.
Is it tonight?
Coming up. Yep. 9 o'clock.
I thought there's a delay
9
for
o'clock.
2 days or no.
That was Saturday. That was Saturday.
Oh, okay.
The other game tonight is Pistons and Knicks, and Detroit had their welcome to the playoff moments. They lead by 8 going into the fourth quarter, give up a 21-0 run.
They too busy trying to fight.
Well, they also hadn't made the playoffs in a while.
Yeah, Kate Cunningham was a volume scorer. He needed to be more efficient.
Yeah.
No doubt.
But I think they're going to steal number 2, game 2.
Okay. I like it. What we got on old school, Jay?
We're gonna talk a little bit further about Colorado, and we're gonna talk about Colorado retiring the 2 jerseys, but then also we're gonna talk about Kirby Smart in Ole Miss going straight in the portal, paying big bucks. We need a running back. We need a linebacker, defensive end. Same with Lane Kiffin got my man from Maryland. Got 2 guys out of Maryland. I think he got the left tackle and one of their defensive tackles.
All right, Lane. All right, Lane.
Yeah, man. Do you got to operate like that now? That's the question. I don't think so. I think it's the pressure of keeping up down there that are making them be desperate. Actually, the defensive tackle went to Texas. The offensive tackle went to Ole Miss. All from Maryland. Mike Locksley is.
He can recruit. You know that about him.
Hey, that's one thing for sure he can do.
But listen, did you see the way Mike Locksley bowed up after the game? He looked him up. James, okay, then try Mike Locksley if you want. The real Mike.
All the smoke.
Yeah, he'll show you because Mike Locksley's a big dude.
Yeah, he is.
Rick, Jay, Austin, short show tomorrow. We'll talk to you then.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Why are some people more successful? Is it talent and determination, or did they recognize an opportunity? Discover a career that lets you help families reach their financial goals as you build lasting professional relationships, one with unlimited income potential. From Modern Wood.